So, you've booked a flight to Europe this winter because things are cheaper in winter. And now, you're starting to panic. What are you going to do in Europe in winter? You don't even ski. Thankfully, Europe has over 1,000 years of history, culture, and tradition to help you kick those winter blues. You could stay in an igloo, be amazed at nature's light show, or go sightseeing on Santa's preferred method of transportation. No matter where you go, there will always be something fun and unique. So here is our list of things to do in Europe in winter for people who don't ski. Let's get into it. Stay in an ice hotel. Americans love ice. We even put it in our room temperature beverages. But Europeans, they take it to a whole new level. The first ice hotel was in Jukkasjärvi. This place in Sweden. And every year they completely rebuild the hotel from scratch using ice from the nearby Torn River. Soon there were ice hotels popping up all over the Nordic countries, especially near the Arctic Circle. But what if you're not going to the Nordics? You probably think your dreams of sleeping on a cold, hard block of ice are melting away. But did you know you can visit an ice hotel in Romania? There's even an ice hotel in Italy. In fact, there seem to be ice hotels in 12 different European countries. Staying in an ice hotel is pretty cool. The sculptures, the bar, chairs, beds, everything is carved from ice. When it's time to sleep, you are provided special sleeping bags designed to keep you cozy and warm, even in sub-zero temperatures. Feeling adventurous? Give it a try. I wonder if Americans would still need ice in their room temperature drinks when the room is ice temperature. Go dog sledding. Taking a dog sledding tour through vast snowy landscapes is a great way to see the countryside, and the only way to see some of the more remote areas of Europe. All in all, there are 15 European countries that offer dog sledding tours at least part of the year. Good sledding requires a solid pack of snow cover and cold weather, so check your weather forecast before booking this type of trip. And don't worry about the dogs. They are usually huskies and they love to run. And run. And run. And they love the cold. Sweden, Norway, Finland, Iceland, they're the usual suspects when it comes to planning a dog sledding tour. But if it's a good winter, check out Lithuania, Poland, Czech Republic, or even France. You might be surprised. And being able to glide quickly over frozen lakes means you might get to see some places usually inaccessible during the non-winter months. See the Northern Lights. Winter is the best time to witness the Northern Lights, and there are numerous places in Europe to experience them. Why winter? Well, because the nights are longer and the air is drier. Longer nights mean more hours in the day to see them, and drier air usually means less clouds, making them easier to see if they do appear. Obviously, the further north you go, the better chance you will have of seeing them, so it should come as no surprise that the best places would be Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Iceland, or the North Four, as I like to call them. The further north you go, the longer the nights last, which is crucial because the northern lights are only visible in the dark sky. In places above the Arctic Circle, you can experience polar nights, where the sun doesn't rise at all for weeks or even months, meaning any time the northern lights happen, you can see them. My personal recommendation would be Reykjavik, Iceland. In between Aurora Borealis sightings, you can explore geysers, hot springs, and waterfalls. But no matter where you go, just remember to slow down and enjoy the show. Visit Christmas markets. Christmas markets are not only a great way to pick up some local handmade crafts, but they're also a treasure trove of traditional cuisine. Most will have some sort of gingerbread cookies, and of course mulled wines and ciders, but depending on where you are, the market street food can be an awesome adventure. For example, if you're in Germany, you can expect bratwurst, potato pancakes, stollen, and a host of sweets that end in Kuchen. But if you're in England, you'll most likely be treated to roasted chestnuts, Yorkshire pudding, fish and chips, and sausage rolls. The Christmas markets usually open in early December and end shortly after Christmas. Or if you're in a bigger city, they might stay open until New Year's Day. But there's a catch. You see, Christmas isn't always December 25th. If you're in a country where the Eastern Orthodox Church is the primary religion, then Christmas might be celebrated on January 7th. Might. Even though Greece is Eastern Orthodox, they celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Whereas Serbia, Moldova, and a few others are Eastern Orthodox, and they celebrate Christmas on January 7th, in accordance with the Julian calendar. Long story short, check your calendar for the local holiday schedule. Explore castles. Although it varies depending on how you define castle, most estimates say there are at least 10,000 castles in Europe. Europe has more castles than Aspen, Colorado has people. Seeing a castle with a snow-covered mountain backdrop is just something extra. I know what you're thinking. Why not just visit them in summer with everyone else? Because that's one, everyone else is there. More people means longer lines, more waiting time, and less opportunity to explore. Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany is the obvious choice for visiting a castle in winter. Why not? It looks as though it's straight out of a fairy tale. At least that's what the folks over at Disney thought when they used this castle as inspiration for their Disneyland castle. But don't forget other impressive winter castles like Bled Castle in Slovenia, overlooking the incredible Bled Lake, or Pelis Castle in Romania. Chillon Castle in Switzerland is a good find. Berg Eltz, Castel del Monte, the list goes on. Remember, I said there are 10,000 castles in Europe. Check out our previous video on the castles of Europe. You won't regret it. Enjoy sauna culture. You know, in some countries, saunas are an integral part of daily life, seen as a place for relaxation, cleansing, and socializing. Finland is the birthplace of the sauna, so you could start there. Saunas are an essential part of Finnish culture and can be found everywhere: homes, hotels, and even some workplaces. It's estimated that there are about 2 million saunas in Finland, which is impressive considering there are only about 5 million people living in Finland. Finnish saunas tend to be dry and are followed by a dip in a frozen lake. Although saunas were started in Finland, the word sauna actually originates from Estonian. Sauna ceremonies are common in Estonia, involving the use of birch branches to gently slap the skin to stimulate circulation. Swedish saunas are similar to those in Finland, except even drier. Still, they like to complete their sauna with a cold plunge in a nearly frozen lake. Latvia, Lithuania, Russia, Hungary, all countries with a deeply embedded sauna culture. Though there might be slight differences in the traditions associated with the sauna, they are generally seen as a way to purify the mind and the body while creating strong social bonds, until they tell you to go jump in a lake. Experience a Sami village. The Sami people are an indigenous ethnic group who primarily live in the northern regions of Scandinavia and Russia. You can visit a Sami village, meet the Sami people, and learn about their traditions, including reindeer herding. Some tours even let you try your hand at reindeer sledding. It's a cultural experience like no other, and the snow-covered landscape adds a serene backdrop to the experience. Swedish Lapland is a good place to start looking if this is of interest to you. While you're there, you might want to keep an eye out for some of the other wildlife. Arctic foxes, wolverines, and even the elusive lynx could be around the next bend. Sleep in a glass igloo or Aurora cabin. This is kind of like staying in an ice hotel, except without the ice and the cold. These glass igloos, or Aurora cabins, are found primarily in the Scandinavian countries where you are more likely to see the northern lights. Picture this. You're lying in a cozy bed watching the northern lights paint the sky above you. Pretty awesome, right? The North Four, you remember, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Iceland, all have luxury Aurora cabin accommodations. The combination of clear skies, remote locations, and modern glass technology makes this experience possible for those lucky enough to witness the Aurora Borealis. Indulge in winter food. Winter cuisine in Europe often revolves around hearty, warming dishes designed to provide comfort and energy during the cold months. Many countries have their own traditional foods that are enjoyed, especially during winter festivals, holidays like Christmas, and New Year's celebrations. Take, for instance, Kaiserschmarrn, a fluffy shredded pancake in Austria, typically served with fruit compote and powdered sugar. Or gravlax in Scandinavia, a cured salmon served on rye bread with mustard sauce. Or if you're in Poland, give bigos, or hunter's stew, a try. It's a slow-cooked stew made with sauerkraut, fresh cabbage, and various meats. And of course, you'll want to wash that food down with something hot to warm you up. Most countries have their own version of mulled or spiced wines. Depending on where you are, it might be called glühwein, punch, vin brûlé, glögg, grozniak, and so on. You get the idea. It's tasty, and you definitely want to try it. Take a winter cruise. Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to pack up and go to new locations every day? What if the cities and sights actually came to you? You just open your front door and there they are. Well, that's what a winter cruise is, friends. There are at least 10 European countries that have winter cruises, mostly the Nordic and Baltic nations, with the United Kingdom, Germany, and Denmark added in. And if you add in river cruises, the list gets a little longer. Depending on which one you choose and the time you choose, you could see anything from the northern lights to medieval villages and castles. Cruise through the fjords of Norway with snowy peaks and dramatic scenery. Or, if you prefer, cruise along Germany's Rhine River, stopping at Christmas markets and sightseeing in Bonn, Dusseldorf, or Cologne. There really are a lot of options, so check them all out. Visit thermal spas. You tried the food, you drank the hot mulled wine, you're still feeling a bit chilly. Time to go for total immersion. Thanks to the geothermal activity in certain regions, many European countries are home to thermal spas where natural hot springs are used for therapeutic purposes, relaxation, and rejuvenation. The last I checked, there were 15 European countries with thermal spas. This could be anything from a historic Roman bath to the silica-rich waters of Iceland's Blue Lagoon. Budapest in Hungary is literally known as the City of Spas, so that's got to be a place to start. And the thermal spas in the Czech Republic town of Karlovy Vary offer thermal baths and wellness treatments in beautiful historic settings. If your goal is to unwind and decompress, it doesn't get much better than a nice thermal spa. Go to warmer locations. Okay, this one is a little bit of a cheat. Yes, you're still going to Europe and you're still going in winter, but did you know that because of the Gulf Stream, parts of Europe are actually quite pleasant during winter? They're all usually centered around the Mediterranean, and the further you get from the sea, the colder things get. But an average temperature in these areas can be a very nice 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 20 degrees Celsius. Spain's Canary Islands and Portugal's Madeira are the places recording the highest average temperatures, but that's even more of a cheat since they're actually off the coast of Africa. If you want to stay within the European boundaries, the southern coast of Spain in Andalusia reports into the low 60s or high teens in Celsius. There's also Cyprus, Malta, Crete, and Sicily if you really like that Mediterranean climate. And although it's a little cooler, Barcelona is a good choice if you want to stay rooted in a larger city. The Italian city of Naples and the nearby Amalfi Coast are also a bit on the cool side, but not nearly as cold as the rest of the European continent. A little warning about the Amalfi Coast, though. Being right on the water can be quite windy and make it feel significantly colder. Stay a block or two inland from the shore and you should be fine. The region is famous for its limoncello, though, so you could always warm yourself up with a little of that. Winter in Europe can be just about anything you want it to be. You may have noticed I didn't mention snowshoeing, ice skating, skiing, or winter hiking because you can pretty much do that just about anywhere. Just add that to your itinerary and you're probably good to go, except in the Mediterranean islands. And that's it. If you're planning a trip to Europe, check out one of our other videos for more inspiration. We're always adding videos, so check back often. Or better yet, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay safe and travel on.